നമസ്കാരം. പരിശുദ്ധ ഇഗ്നാത്യോസ് അഫ്രേം ദിദിയൻ പാത്രിയർക്കിസ് ബാവ, ആഗോള സുറിയാനി സഭയുടെ 123ാമത് പാത്രിയർക്കിസ്, സഭാധ്യക്ഷൻ എന്നതിലുപരി ആഗോളതലത്തിൽ തന്നെ സമാധാനത്തിന് വേണ്ടി പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്ന വലിയ ഇടയൻ, മധ്യപൂർവ്വദേശത്തെ വലിയ സംഘർഷങ്ങൾക്കിടയിലും സമാധാന ദൂതുമായി ഓടി നടക്കുന്ന പരിശുദ്ധ പാത്രിയർക്കിസ് ബാവ, മലയാളത്തെ ഏറെ സ്നേഹിക്കുന്ന, മലങ്കരയെ അടുത്തറിയുന്ന പരിശുദ്ധ പാത്രിയർക്കിസ് ബാവ തന്റെ ആദ്യ കേരള സന്ദർശനത്തിൽ മനോരമ ന്യൂസിനോട് മനസ്സ് തുറക്കുന്നു. Your Holiness, we are privileged to have you as a guest today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me on your Manorama News.
The church in Kerala was very eagerly waiting for your patriarchal visit. How does Your Holiness feel to be in Kerala and to see the enthusiasm of the people around?
I'm indeed very joyful. My heart is full of joy to see our people. I've been waiting for this visit myself. I know how the people are eager. I was even more eager to come and see them, simply because this is a very dear part of our church on my heart and the heart of every member of our Holy Syrian Orthodox Church of Antioch. Being here is being with the family, with our spiritual children, with people who kept the faith, the faith of our forefathers for many centuries, and they paid dearly for that. So being here is not only joy for me, it's also a privilege for me to come and see the ordinary people of Kerala, of Malankara, who are happy to see their father, but their father also is very happy to see them. So I thank God for giving me this opportunity to be with our dear spiritual children.
Your Holiness comes from Syria,
Right.
which unfortunately happens to be in the eye of the storm, a new global synonym for terrorism. How can Your Holiness describe the actual situation in Syria and Iraq, especially for the Christians and the minorities?
It's a very unfortunate situation. This year, we are commemorating the 100th anniversary of the massacres and the genocide that struck our people in the former Ottoman Empire, which we call Seifo, means the sword. And what's happening in Syria and Iraq, it reminds us of these massacres, of that great calamity that befell on our people, and hundreds of thousands of martyrs fell victims to that massacre. Today, what's happening in Syria, especially, and in Iraq, is not less than that Seifo. But the only difference is that the whole world is watching today and hearing, and very few people are moved to do anything to help the people there. Not only the Christians, the people of Syria, of Iraq, Christians and Muslims, they are all suffering. They are all suffering at the hands of terrorists from all over the world. Churches have been destroyed, monasteries have been destroyed, schools have been knocked down, clergy have been slaughtered, bishops are kidnapped. We have two of our dear bishops of Aleppo from our Syrian Orthodox Church and the Greek Orthodox Church who have been kidnapped for almost 20 months. We know nothing about them. The people of Iraq were driven out of their homes and villages in matters of hours. 150,000 were homeless. I went and visited them 4 times, and I can tell you it's a big misery, and the whole world should be ashamed of what's happening there, because everybody is seeing, everybody is hearing, but very few people are trying to do something. So I call upon the whole world to move quickly to stop the genocide that is taking place right now in the Middle East.
How is the church caring for the people in the affected area? I think Your Holiness in person visits the refugees and all.
I was there 4 times in Iraq to go and to try to support them, to be with them, to touch their hearts, and I pray that the Lord will use me and other people to bring some comfort to these people. They are suffering, and it's our duty to be with our children who are suffering both in Syria and in Iraq, and that's the reason why we kept our headquarters in Damascus despite what's happening there, and that's why we are still in Damascus. Actually, on my way to Kerala here, On Thursday morning, I left Damascus while Damascus was being bombarded by dozens of missiles and mortars coming from the terrorists on the peaceful quarters, and especially the Christian areas of all Damascus.
But Your Holiness decided to be in Syria.
Yes, I decided because I have to be with my people. If the people are suffering, I have to be with them. I cannot be with them only when they are in comfort and they are they're living comfortably. I have to be with them, especially when they are suffering. I'm not better than any of them, and wherever the flock is, there should shepherd be also.
I think Your Holiness is a proud Syrian.
I'm a proud Syrian, yes, both Christian and Syrian. I'm a proud member of the community, because our community contributed a lot to the civilization of the whole world. Many things, many great things started in the Middle East, in Mesopotamia in particularly, and our people live there for thousands of years. That is our homeland, and we cannot just give it up because some terrorists are trying to drive us out of there. And we will not make them succeed in their mission. We are calling upon our people all the time to stay in our homeland, to be patient a little bit. I know it's difficult. I know they are making a lot of sacrifices, but we have to be patient and to endure what's happening, so that hopefully at the end we'll be rewarded.
How do you account for the birth of such kind of terrorism in Syria? Has it something to do with the resentment of a group of people towards the administration, or is it just a result of mixing religion with politics?
I believe there are groups who are using religion, and they are perpetrating violence in the name of religion. So I would not blame all Muslims for this. I would not actually blame Muslims for that at all. I blame these people who are using religion, because the victims are not only Christians, they are Muslims too. Mosques have been destroyed. Imams have been hanged on the walls of mosques, on the doors of mosques. So it's not specifically against Christians, but we are targeted because of our religion. We are always an easy target. So what's happening in Syria, I don't believe has anything to do with some people not happy with the government or with it and that. It has everything to do with fanaticism. It has everything to do also with the international policies. I cannot tell you that there is a plan to destroy Syria, but what's happening is Syria is being destroyed, and Iraq is being destroyed. Is there a plan to divide these countries into smaller entities?
Some analysts say that the US involvement in Syria and Iraq, the beginning, helped these anti-socials to grow to an extent.
Unfortunately, we did not see until recently any intervention from the United States and European countries to stop this violence in Syria. On the contrary, everybody knows, the whole world knows, that some of these terrorist groups have been supported by Western powers and have been armed by regional powers and funded by regional powers. There are regional countries in the region who are funding ISIS, Daesh. There are countries who are buying oil from Daesh. They are supporting them indirectly. And only recently, the Americans and others are bombarding the ISIS groups and camps in Syria and Iraq. But I hope and pray that the United States of America and the coalition will work with the Syrian government together, so that together they may defeat Daesh and other terrorist groups. And I made this appeal also to the President of the United States himself. When we met with him last September, I told him, I asked him, since you are fighting against ISIS and the Syrian government is fighting also, why don't you coordinate and work together to that end?
But I think they have another interest in that. They are not interested with Bashar al-Assad, I think.
I don't believe Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, as a person is the problem or is the cause of this. I believe Bashar al-Assad can be and will be part of the solution of what's happening there if they work together. We know there were elections in Syria and he won by great majority. And so we are hoping Syria of the future will be a better Syria than the past. There were many mistakes by the regime in the past, and there's still some mistakes even now, and no country is perfect in its administration or its employment of democracy or anything else. Even India, the greatest, the largest democracy in the world, there are some mistakes, there are political games going on.
As you said, US is saying that they will put an end to this ISIS threat soon. But day by day, we are getting new visuals of heads rolling, that of innocent people. Do you think that this is an easy task for the US and its allies?
We should not forget that Saddam Hussein and his regime were brought down in a matter of days. Libya and Gaddafi was brought down, and the country was invaded, and the regime was changed, and in a matter of weeks, probably less than 6 months. So if there is real will and determination to fight ISIS and get rid of it, I think that can happen sooner than what's happening now. We hope that will is there.
And does Your Holiness feel that there should be a united move from the Christian leaders also?
Christian leaders have to be together. They have to be united in their prayers for the whole world, for peace in the world, and they have to be united in sending a message, a strong message to the Christian world, message of unity and of support and solidarity. We need the Christian leaders throughout the world, beginning with the Pope, His Holiness the Pope in the Vatican, all the Western churches and the Eastern churches. They have to come out together and to show some support for the Christians in the Middle East. Sometimes the Christians in the Middle East feel that they are abandoned by their brothers and sisters in the West. We want to see more action, even if it's symbolic. We want to see that from the West, from the Christians in the West.
Religious intolerance is becoming a great threat in India too, especially for the minorities. Would you like to react on that?
I believe India has always been an example of tolerance and of peaceful coexistence, and I hope and pray that will continue. Now, of course, these phenomena of fanaticism, extremism, these are global. They are not local anymore. The internet, the communications bring the message of these people to every home, in every country, in every village. India cannot be an exception. People in India are listening and watching, and now there are always extremist people in all religions and on all sides, and some people may embrace these kind of ideologies, and they may try to get involved, and that's unfortunate. I hope and pray the Indian people who have been living together in their diversity for many centuries, they will continue to recognize the value of this kind of tolerance and peaceful coexistence, and they will do their best to prevent the young people, especially from embracing such dangerous ideologies.
Now, coming back to Kerala, the dispute in Syrian Orthodox Church still continues. How will Your Holiness address that issue? Is there still a chance for a reconciliation and a lasting peace?
I believe there is a chance. There's always going to be chance for peace and reconciliation in our church. After all, we are members of the same church, and families in Kerala on both sides are blood relations, and they have so many occasions to be together, to both happy and sad occasions, and we cannot block our ears from hearing the cry of the people who are thirsty for peace in the church. And we will do our best to bring peace that brings dignity to everybody, that respects everybody, and that is accepted by everybody. I believe it is possible, yes.
Still there is a chance for an open discussion.
I think the time will come when we will have to take every measure possible to bring peace. There should be eventually open discussion about it, and with mutual respect and with agreement. And we as the Patriarchate, we always welcome the initiatives for peace in India, and we will also take initiatives whenever possible, and but everything has to be locally here agreed upon, and the people in Kerala should reconcile at the end, because we as Patriarchate, we feel that we are the church's spiritual mother for everybody. Now the children have to sit together with the directions and with the blessing of the mother and with the cooperation of the mother church to work together towards lasting peace.
But how can Your Holiness convince the bishops and the laymen here and take them into confidence in this matter?
I don't have to convince them. They are all convinced of the need of peace. Nobody is against peace, but there are certain concerns. Some of them are very legitimate concerns. They should be taken into consideration. We have to pray over this matter, and we have to sit down and discuss it with all openness, frankness, and to see what's best for the people, what's in the best interest of the faithful of Malankara.
But still there is no change in the stand of Catholicos. He believed that the initiative should come from this side.
Again, I believe that every one of us, all sides, have to come up with initiatives and to meet somewhere. And I welcome initiatives from any side. And as the Patriarch of Antioch, also I have duty and responsibility to encourage and to work for peace in the church. So we'll all work together. It's not one side's responsibility, it's everybody's responsibility to bring peace to the church.
There was some news in some media that there is some difference of opinion among Your Holiness and His Beatitude Basilius Thomas First. Would you like to comment on?
No, certainly there is no difference of opinion. There may be different approach, but His Beatitude, the Catholicos, More Basilius Thomas First, who has been leading the church here, the so-called Jacobite faction, for many decades, he has done great things for the church here, and his sacrifices are very much appreciated. And I believe he has wisdom and he has experience in this. And anything we do, His Beatitude will be part of it. So we will work together with His Beatitude, with all the bishops, to bring a peaceful solution to the crisis that we have here. It is a crisis because the people are suffering, and we want to put an end to the suffering of the ordinary people, the peace-loving people of Malankara.
Syrian Orthodox Church has been very active in ecumenical activities. What are Your Holiness's plans to go on with ecumenism, especially with regard to the Catholic Church?
Our relationship with all the churches have been very cordial and very fruitful. And with the Vatican, we have had a long tradition of dialogue and of respect and cordial relationship. My predecessors, the two former predecessors, the late Patriarch Ignatius, Jacob III, and the late Ignatius Zacchaeus I, both paid visit to the Vatican, and His Holiness the Pope paid visit to our Patriarchate, and I intend also to continue this tradition. I'm actually planning to pay a visit to the Vatican later this year, and to sign an agreement, a common declaration with His Holiness the Pope, and we continue to be active in all dialogues that are happening with the Vatican, with the Anglican world, with the within the World Council of Churches, with the Reformed churches, and of course with the Oriental Orthodox Church and the Eastern Orthodox churches. So we are active on all sides, and we'll continue to do that because we believe that unity of the church is not only a desire of the people, it's a desire of God. Jesus, our Lord, prayed for the unity of His church, and we have to work for it.
And Your Holiness's view on the progressive stance taken by Pope Francis on various issues?
I tend to admire, I really admire His Holiness Pope Francis in many things that he is doing, in many initiatives that he is taking, and in the new approach he is approaching things, and the way that things are run in the Vatican and the Catholic Church. I have great hope that this Pope, we will be an inspiration for generations, especially for the young generation, and I am hoping we will see people coming back to the church, especially in Europe and in America. The young people will come back when they see good leadership that is inspirational to them.
Does Your Holiness feel that women should be given more priorities in the church?
Women are an essential part of our society. They make up more than 3/4 of the society. And in church also, Christianity since the beginning gave dignity to women and gave them certain rules in the church. I mean, don't forget the first apostles who preached the good news of the resurrection were women. And Jesus appeared to Mary first, and they were following Jesus all the time and serving him and listening to him. And I believe in our church today also women have to be given their place in the church. Now, their place doesn't mean they have to be in every area of ministry in the church. As we know, ministry of priesthood, special priesthood, was given only to the apostles, and I don't believe, at least in our Orthodox churches, that we will see women priests very soon. But otherwise, they are teaching in the churches, in the Sunday school, they are serving in the Holy Liturgy, they are doing charity work, and at least in the Middle East, they are also on the church committees. I'm hoping they are here also in Kerala on the church committees. If not, they should be on the church committees. But eventually, the role of women in any church also depends on the culture that we live in, because we should not forget that the church is a reflection of the society we live in. No matter how noble, how great the teachings of Christianity are, of the Bible are, but then our faith is embodied and manifested in the society that we live in. So that also has to do with how women are given their rights in the church.
Thank you very much for joining us, Your Holiness.
Thank you. I also take this opportunity to thank all the workers in Manorama News, Manorama TV, and all those who are behind the cameras and the viewers. Manorama is one of the leading channels, as I know, in Kerala, and many times I myself flip channels and look for Manorama to thank you for having me on your TV, and ask the Lord to bless you, all the workers, and wish you all the best in your professional covering of news and of journalism. May God bless you. Thank you.